Good afternoon, everybody. This is Anna Soden with the In Crowd, and I am super excited to have a friend of mine, Dion Foxx, here with us today to chat with us a little bit about who he is, what he does, and what he's doing for the community.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So tell people who you are.
Okay, my name is Dion Foxx. I am a native of Richmond, Virginia. Actually went to Chesterfield County School, Meadowbrook High School, graduated from Meadowbrook High School. From there, James Madison University. From there, I had the chance to go and play in the NFL for a few years, Miami, Washington, a little stint in Green Bay, and then came back home. After that, got into education. Been in education now. This is my 18th year and my 8th year as a activities director at Richmond Public Schools, at formerly known as George Wythe, now known as Richmond High School for the Arts.
Oh.
So they had
George Wythe, not George Wythe.
Yeah.
That's what I called it the other day.
George Wythe High School has been renamed to Richmond High School for the Arts. That happened last summer, July of 2023. They've started construction and groundbreaking for the new building already. And they say we're supposed to be moving in the fall, either the fall of 26 or the spring of 27. I'm not quite sure. It depends on if everything goes well. So
moving into a completely new building from where you are right now?
Yeah, we're moving. So the building is being built on the same grounds.
Oh.
So the old football field and baseball field and athletic facility, they've cleared that off and they're going to put the new building there.
Oh.
And then once we move into that, they're going to demolish the old building and then make that the new sports complex for us.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
They're just gonna.
Yeah, we're going to swap spots.
Okay. Okay.
Swap spots. Yeah.
Okay. It's probably easier to demolish and rebuild something new versus trying to revamp something that's been around for a while.
Yeah, that building was built in early 60s, I believe.
It's older than I am.
Late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
It's a pretty old building, but we were due and happy to be getting a new building and supposed to house over 2,000 students and be a specialty school, and be a specialty school for the city of Richmond and like an arts school. So specialize in dance and choir, theater, things like that.
Love it.
So it's going to be fun once it's up and running. It's a regular school, but kind of like when you go somewhere for an IB program and you go somewhere for technology, you can come to us for arts.
Love it.
So the kids are still able to come there. We had a parent ask once the new school is built, do we have to apply to go here? Because no, you still live in the district.
Okay.
But people outside the district, just like you would apply for IB and apply for technology and apply to go to tech and stuff like that, you'd have to apply to go to an art school if that was your background. You want to do something in the arts.
So what if somebody who is district to go there, do they have to apply for the art program or are they automatically in the art program?
They have to apply.
Okay. So everybody has to apply for the program, but if they go to the school, then they
have access to the school, and if they want to take those classes, they can. And what they will do is say that they're interested in being put into the arts program while they're there. You know, but they're still going to have their core subjects they're going to take, their English, maths, the histories, the sciences for their graduation. And then instead of taking a regular elective class, they would be in the arts program.
Gotcha. Sort of like what my daughter's doing because she's doing cosmetology. So she goes out to the tech center in Chester.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about your NFL career.
Okay.
How long did you play for? And what position did you play?
I played linebacker. So I played professional ball from 94 to 2000. I played in the NFL and Canadian Football League. And also, also the XFL, the first time it came out. People don't remember, but the XFL, the first time the XFL came out was the
XFL?
XFL, yes. The XFL came out the first time in the year 2000. That was my last year playing ball. And that was my last shot of trying to get back into something at the end of my career. And then after that, I retired. But XFL came out then to give guys a shot to play in another league. All these leagues that are out here now were not around when I was playing. You have XFL, you have the new USFL. USFL was out before, it didn't last long because the NFL was the monopoly. Okay. And so it's kind of like Big Brother being at the table and, you know, no, we don't want you here.
Gotcha.
So they push you away and they wanted to be the monopoly. But now what's going on is a lot of these other leagues are partnering with the NFL, and the NFL are using them as farm teams, like the Richmond Squirrels. We used to be the Richmond Braves, was the farm team for the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
So kind of like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm glad that these guys, these young guys that are coming out now, have other opportunities, because before it was the NFL, Arena One, or CFL. Those were the only three options you had and came out. My rookie year was in the early 90s. So fast forward 30 years, now you have several leagues, and you don't have to worry about going to another country to play. You don't have to worry about going abroad to play. All those leagues are still around.
Right.
You still have a chance to stay here at home, make some money, be with your family, closer to your family, easier to travel, and still get the opportunity to get picked up by one of the higher leagues, that are out there.
Okay.
And live your dream, because I feel that every athlete that does this, no matter what sport it is, soccer, baseball, football, basketball, whatever sport it is, as long as you live in your dream and you get a chance to go out there and do it, because now you have more opportunities now than was around when I was coming up to play. And also the social media thing has blown everything up too. So, and blown up in a good way, because now you have more ways to be seen and noticed and get your chance.
I like that. So, because I remember growing up, like they say, make sure that you get your education, because 1% of the actual athletes get seen, get picked up, actually play professional, sports, whatever the sport is. I love the fact that there's more opportunity for kids, because there is a lot of talent out there. And there's only, I don't know how many players you can have on a team, but whatever sport it is, there's not an unlimited amount of roster, right, that you can have. So
there's this limited amount of roster. You have so in the NFL, you have an active roster. Then you have a practice squad. So your active roster, when I was playing, you had a 48-man roster, 56-man total, and the other 8 or 9 guys were practice squad guys.
Gotcha.
They can move up. And back then, when you moved up from the practice squad and you played one game, you could not go back down to the practice squad.
Oh.
Those things have changed some. So now, guys, I guess it's a certain amount that if you don't play a certain amount, you can now get picked up from another team and go to their practice squad.
Gotcha.
And it's still a time limit and time frame. So, but I know that I've heard where guys have left the team and may have been on the active roster here, but then gone somewhere else and got on the practice squad and then moved back up and were able to play in some games and, get paid. And so, I'm like, look, take advantage of any opportunity that you have.
Agreed.
Because now these rules are changing more and more in your favor. They've changed the game to where they're making the game safer as far as trying to prevent head injuries.
Mm-hmm.
However, we still have some things that they're working on to make the game even safer. The only thing that I don't like, you have athletes that are coming from college that are elite athletes that are playing this game, regardless of what sport it is. And because of the rules that are being implemented, I would just like to see better training and better information being disseminated to the guys, no matter what sport it is, so that they understand the concept of how to do the things in the game without hesitating.
Gotcha.
Because when you're in the game and you're going full speed and then you have to hesitate or you pause a step, you increase your chance of being injured.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're hesitating. You're not going with the flow of the game. You hesitate, you thinking, and then you get caught off balance. And then all of a sudden, you're in the spot because you took a second thought.
Right.
Instead of doing what your instincts tell you to do. It's a game of reaction.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
You pre-read and you react to what you see. You're not sitting there trying to think about it.
You can't say pause for just a second.
Yeah.
Hold on. I need to go in the opposite direction, so I need you to give me a minute. Yeah. So education on the front end is more important.
Yeah.
Or it's not more important, it is important.
It's very important. Because you have the guys, they know how to play ball.
Right.
Okay. You may teach them 1 or 2 more techniques that'll help them out to be, more efficient in playing their position. However, it's not playing their position that they need help with.
Right.
It's making sure that they don't hit a defenseless receiver, or they don't duck their head to run through somebody, or get down. If you've ever watched the game and they say it's a bang bang play, Okay, that means it happened so fast
Okay,
that they have to go back and look at it to see if it was something that was intentional, something that was malicious, or if
gotcha,
it's just in the course of the play.
gotcha.
You may have a guy going in to make a tackle, aiming with his shoulder, but another guy on the defense hits the receiver or the ball carrier, which changes the position of the ball carrier.
Right,
Which means that if I'm coming in and I'm aiming with my shoulder, now I may be hitting him with my head, the crown of my head,
right,
and I'm not meaning to do that.
right.
So a bang bang play,
Gotcha.
you have to figure out is that if that's happening now because of fear of being ejected, injured, or thrown out of a game and fined.
Okay,
Okay, on top of that, and the fine, it's not something that they say, hey, I need you to give me a check for 10 grand. You look at your check and it's already gone under miscellaneous.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That may or may not have happened to you.
exactly. Exactly. It may or may not have happened to me.
I think you may be talking from experience.
And it's under miscellaneous because you got fined.
Right.
And it comes out automatically.
Gotcha.
But I love the game, love watching it. I love to see the guys compete at a high level and do what they love.
Yeah. It's good to see people who are living out their passion. I'm not allowed to watch football because I don't understand it. So, I mean, you tell me what a linebacker is and I still don't know, but I know the quarterback. That's it. That's about it. The guy that throws the ball.
So the linebacker is like the quarterback of the defense. The linebacker is like the quarterback of the defense. So if you look at them lined up and you see the big guys in front of each other with their hands on the ground,
yes,
on both sides.
Okay.
And then you see the quarterback behind his line.
Yeah.
Then you see the other guys, the two or three guys that standing behind the line on the defense.
Uh-huh.
They're the linebacker.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then the guys that standing further back, like split out on the sides and standing back, they're the defensive backs.
Oh.
So that quick, I gave you, so now you know position.
Don't give me a test though, because I'll fail it. I will fail that and not graduate. All right. So tell me how your experience in the NFL shaped who you are today.
Discipline.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I'm still working on me. I work on me every day.
Everybody should.
I try to be better today than what I was yesterday. And sometimes I'm my worst critic. Sometimes I feel like I'm not. But then I try to look back on something positive that I've done to help somebody. If I've done one thing to bring one smile to a face or to benefit somebody else or just to change someone's mood, then okay. I have to think back on it though, because like I said, I'm my own worst critic and been like that my whole life. It's something that my mother instilled in me, my grandmother. I was raised by a bunch of women. So, and there's nothing wrong with that because and I'm gonna say it right here on air, women are the strongest ones that walk on this earth because of the things they have to endure. And I say that because of what I saw my grandmother do, my mother do, both my grandmothers, my mom's mom and my dad's mom. I'm not taking anything away from any man, but the things that I see with women that are out here that are taking care of their families and have and any person that's out here with good morals and good intentions, trying to do good things and give back, I've learned those things from my mother. I've had some strong male influences in my life, but my mom was with me every day. So, and I tell everybody, she's my shero. I lost her 15 years ago to cancer, and it was 2 days before Mother's Day.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, but I mean, and it's still, her birthday was 22nd, which was last Friday.
Gotcha.
So, I still celebrate her birthday in my own way. I celebrate Mother's Day for her in my own way. And, she's taught me a lot through things that she's done, mistakes that she's made, and she taught me those mistakes and not to make the same mistakes. There's one thing I take with me. My mother said that one thing about my son, he may get in trouble for doing something, but he never gets in trouble for the same thing twice. So
you learn from your mistakes.
I learn from my mistakes, and I'm still learning. And as long as I'm trying to learn, then I'm growing and I'm living.
Right. Well, I keep saying that life is a destination. It's a journey, not a destination, right? And I think a lot of people live their life as once I get to this place, then I will have made it, or I will have succeeded, or whatever. And it's no, because as soon as you get to that place, then the line gets drawn further forward, right? Because you want to be better than you were before. So let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now. So you and I connected because I have a a magazine, right? So Swift Creek Living and Powhatan Living. And so we did a story on you on the 5756 Foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so tell people a little bit about that, what that is.
So 5756 Foundation came about in 2019. I wanted to do something before then, throwing a lot of things up in there, a lot of things going on in my life at the time and trying to find some order. But one of the things that I always loved to do was to give back and be a part of stuff in the community, doing things with other nonprofit organizations. I've done a lot of appearances for nonprofits. I've done a lot of golf tournaments for nonprofits. So I showed up to support, traveled all over the US, and I said, okay, I need to do something. And so I thought about it. And it took me a while. And one day I was sitting down, in my recliner. I was watching TV and I had a pad in front of me and I just started doodling. And I doodled my numbers that I played and tried to combine both of them to make the name 57. I said 5756. Now how am I going to make the logo? And I drew it. And so I drew it. And because my brother draws better than me, I told him, I said, look, I want you to draw this for me. I said, draw it. This is how it needed to look. And he drew it. Next thing I know, I had it. And boom, I went from there, did the paperwork, incorporated it, and did everything I was supposed to do, 501(c), 501(c). I all my paperwork, everything straight. And then I just started doing little things to start. I had big ideas, but I didn't want to overwhelm myself and get in over my head too fast. Okay. So, like you said, life is a journey. So everything that you do is a journey. So, slow and steady wins the race. So I realized I had to slow down. I didn't need to be the hare. I could be the tortoise on this one, as long as I'm taking care of things and getting things accomplished.
Right.
So from there now, 5756foundation.org, you can go to the website and, basically I'm just trying to create positive change. Okay. Positive change in life, positive change in health, positive change with the youth. I'm a representative, but I also am the president of the NFL alumni chapter as well for the state of Virginia in the city of Richmond. But as the president of NFL alumni and as the founder of 5756, I partner with HUPTI every year, which is Hampton University Proton Therapy Institute. Okay. For the last 2 years, we've done a prostate cancer awareness. Health fair, but we talk about prostate cancer, but we talk about other health things, but prostate cancer is the thing where we try to get guys to come in and screen. Found out from them that Chesapeake has the highest number of deaths from prostate cancer.
Interesting.
In the United States.
Oh.
Yes.
Huh.
I was thrown by that when it was told to me.
Yeah.
I was told this a couple of years ago when they told me the stats. So every year we get new stats. So we did it this past September, and hopefully we're going to do it for the 3rd year. But from the first year to the 2nd year, we did it. And we went in and we gave screenings. We only had about 70, a little over 70 guys show up for the screenings, which is pretty good for the first year.
Yeah.
But the 2nd year we did it, we had over 270 guys show up and get the screening. So that means that the word was out, people came in, and this is on the Saturday that we do it in September, and we do it from 9 to 12, 4 hours. And 3 hours. Actually, we open up at 8 and we start at 9. And we have people that are there, vendors that are there, and we also have a panel of other ex-NFL players. Okay. And among those, we had the last 2 years is Hall of Famer Bruce Smith, because he's from that area.
No, I've met him before.
Yeah, some good guy. Nice guy. Came in, sat down with us this past year. Billy McMullen, who's a Richmond native, Wally Rayner, who lives here now. She doesn't know these people, but I know them. These guys are a little younger than me, except for Bruce. He's got a couple years on me. He's ahead of me. But we have some guys that come down and are a part of it. And we talk about experiences and the importance of going to get checked and knowing our numbers, and not just about prostate cancer, but about overall health. Right. And the biggest thing that we have an issue with as men is that we think that, we'll be okay. Invincible. We're invincible. And as an athlete that played at that level, we still
even more invincible.
So we have to humble ourselves and take ourselves into the. As a matter of fact, I have I set a doctor's appointment to go in tomorrow to get my physical for the year, which is something that I didn't really do a whole lot, but now it's something that, hey, go do it. Instead of thinking you're okay, go and make sure.
Right. Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Exactly.
Applied knowledge is power.
Exactly.
Yeah. So with the foundation, I know you started a food pantry.
I did start a food
Right.
pantry. So the food pantry was an idea that I had back in the fall of 23. So the fall of 23, I know that in the school district that I'm in, sometimes we may have some students, they may have some difficulties with food at home.
Food insecurities, is that what they?
With food insecurities, or however you want to put it. I don't want to say it the wrong way.
Right.
So what I wanted to do was make sure that I provided them with something to take home so that they don't have to worry about being home over a break or a weekend and not have enough to eat, because a lot of the students have 2, 3, 4 siblings.
Right.
Or they live with an aunt or an uncle that may have 2 or 3 kids. So at that point, let me see what I can do to help out the kids. So along with your help and a couple other people, I've had donations given to me. I set the food pantry up in my office at the building. Only been putting it together, like physically getting it put together over the last couple of weeks. So I'm looking for it to go strong after the first week of April, which is after the spring break. I did have some stuff that was donated by you and a few other people, and I'm giving all of that away to kids today so that they have stuff over the break to sustain them for a little bit over the break. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to stop anything. I'm just saying I'm just trying to help the situation so that there's less stress on them and their parents, because I come from humble beginnings. A lot of people don't know my background, and you know, I grew up in the projects till I was about 7, 8 years old. I used to live over in Whipham Court with me, my grandmother, and my mom living in the same house at Whipham Court. So I was about 6 or 7, and then we moved to Howland Springs, and then from there moved over to Chesterfield. So my mom fought. Like I said, she's my hero. She showed me how to fight. I'm a product of a teenage mother. My mother had me at 15.
Okay.
Finished high school. Went to college, graduated from college.
Impressive.
Worked at Reynolds Metals as an accountant. And then from there, she had her own business until she passed away. And her business was called Leave the Figure Into Me. So it was an accountant business that she did books, taxes, and stuff for. She had clients. And she was human. So she made mistakes along the way. But she made sure that she taught me about those mistakes and try not to make the same mistakes she did. Right. So, I miss her dearly. I love her, and I appreciate everything that she did for me along that road.
So if you guys want to donate to your foundation, whether it be food or even monetarily, how can they do that?
You can go to the website, 5756foundation.org, go down to donate, click that. All of the information to get in contact with me, 804-295-7800 is the foundation phone number. And you can leave an email from the website. You can also call Richmond High School for the Arts, also known as the Old George With. I have to say that. And
is that like the caveat that you have to put at the end of it?
Well, I put it like that because everybody doesn't know the new name yet. Gotcha. Or they're not used to the new name
Gotcha.
Yet. Okay. And so I say both so that there's no gray area.
Gotcha.
Okay. I just ask for Dion Foxx when you call there and let me know what you do. Yeah, 2 X's. And ask for Dion Foxx when you get there, when you call, and you can talk to me about that as well. I just try to do all I can, for the kids and my community. That's about paying it forward. 5756 has also bought athletic equipment needed for the athletes for the last few years. I've outfitted the girls basketball team at George With / Richmond High School for the last 3 years with basketball shoes. I've outfitted the girls basketball team with sports bras. I've outfitted the other men's teams, all of the female sports teams with sports bras. I've outfitted all of the male sports teams with compression bottoms if they needed them. I've found through grants I've applied for and gotten, I've also supplied football cleats, soccer cleats, baseball cleats over the last 3 years, 3 or 4 years. So, it's whatever we can do to keep the kids busy as well. Because, what's they used to say, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to keep you busy and idle for another, I'm going to keep you busy instead of idle for another 2-3 hours after school, instead of you going out there getting into something you're not supposed to.
Gotcha. So what are you looking for in the future? Like, what's the vision of 5756?
To grow.
Okay.
And to be able to serve more people. And the only way that can happen is, let's say what it is. The world some days seems very like today, dark, dim, cloudy, but we do know that there's silver linings out there. We do know there are people out there with good hearts, and we have to look into being kind and love. Like, love your neighbor.
Yeah.
No matter how much you don't like what they did, you still have to love your neighbor, have to be kind and give to the world, because you never know who you're going to impact when you do that.
Right. Yeah.
And so I just want to be known for someone that just helps the community out and be there to help situations. I can't fix everything. I can't do it alone. I can't fix everything, but I'm going to fix what I can and control what I can and move forward from there. Just take steps forward each day.
Well, I think so. I'm going to put my 2 cents in here because that's what I like to do. But so we talk about, people talk about impacting the world. And I think they have this global, like, I'm going to go and impact the entire world. And really, that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to impact your physical sphere right here, because then that creates a ripple effect out into the world, right? And being a good person, if I can be a good person to you and the next person that I meet and the person that I'm driving next to in my car, then that is going to then ripple out towards the world. But if we start thinking, I have to go out and do this to the entire world, that's overwhelming. And then what happens?
You took the word right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. And then you
don't do
stuck.
anything.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Because it's like, I can't do that. That's too much. That's too much on one person's shoulders to be able to carry that weight.
It is, and you described it perfectly. And the more people start to realize that they can do more right here in front of them. And like you said, it's like throwing a rock in the middle of the pond.
Right.
You throw it in the middle of the pond, and then before you know it, the ripples have reached the shores.
Right.
So, I'm trying to be that rock that you throw in the middle of the pond, and hopefully what I do can ripple out and touch the shores.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've already met and contacted and had people contact me over the last month. It's like it happened so fast. And like I said, you were one of the surprising biggest donors, because I had
help.
I understand you had help, but I'm saying, like, you and your group, let me say that you and your group helped out 5756. And when I got the phone calls from you, because being in our interactions that we've had here at the radio station and through Mike King,
it just happened to be walking in the room.
Yeah, and about to walk in front of the camera.
Right.
It's okay.
For.
So, I've met a lot of great people with big hearts that are willing to help. And I'm humbled by all the help that I've been getting, and I really appreciate it. It's just, it feels great. It feels great. It's like that big, deep sigh that you take when everything is going like you see it's coming to fruition, that you see it coming together, and it's great. It makes me feel good.
That's awesome.
Makes me feel good.
That's awesome. So if you want to donate, go to 5756
foundation.org.
Make sure that if you want to bring him food so that he has that for the pantry, do it after spring break. Spring break is next week. So make sure that he has something available then.
Yeah, we start spring break tomorrow. Well, we start spring break on the 29th.
Right.
And we will be back on the, I want to say, 8th. Be back on the 8th of April. Back in the building the 8th of April. I think that's a Monday. So
yes.
So we'll be back on
a Saturday.
Okay, so we'll be back on the 8th of April. And then from the 8th until the end of the school year, if you want to get in contact with me, because I want to be giving out food to my kids every week until the end of the school year. I've also started financial literacy programs.
I know, with Adriana, right?
Well, she was the second part.
Oh, okay.
I originally started it at the beginning of the school year. I partnered with Chase Bank.
Okay.
5756 is partnered with Chase Bank, and I have the vice president of community outreach for Chase Bank that's over top of that department. And I met with him, bumped into him in July of last year, talked to him. Hey, I need a financial literacy program for my athletes. I need you to come in once a week. What do you think? Yes, okay. I had a meeting with him and then his supervisor that's over top of the Northeastern region of the United States. So she's over top of like 5 or 6 states in the Northeast region. Met with them. great meeting, and we're trying to grow that program from just one school to maybe 2 or 3 schools next year in RPS. And hopefully we can do that. And like I said, it's once a week, about 40, 45 minutes before practice. And the kids go out and they practice, and then they go home. And they getting some good information. And then Adriana came in for her first one for the spring, because my school, now the population of Latina kids, we call them Ls, so English language learners, English as a second language. The majority of them speak Spanish, or they're Latino. So I can't do for my English speaking kids what I'm not going to do for my Spanish kids. So I made sure that when I was in a position to get somebody to come in, I could. Paths crossed, conversations were had. Next thing I know, I have Adriana coming in, and she is a mortgage. She does mortgages, and she also does it with Core Mortgage. By the way, Core Mortgage, Kelvin Oliver, I'm giving you a plug.
Shout out to KO.
Okay, was my point guard in high school
So
on the basketball team. So I've known Kelvin almost
for a minute.
Yeah, almost 40 years. So yeah. Since freshman year of high school. Actually, I've known him since middle school. So
awesome.
Yeah, but he was my point guard in high school when we played basketball together. But yeah, she offered to come in, and she met with the boys and girls soccer team yesterday, which their first language is Spanish.
That's awesome.
And so it went well. I talked to her, and she had a ball doing it, and she loved it. So I look forward to growing that too, because that population in my building now is over 60%.
Wow.
Yes, it's over 60%. So we need to make sure that we service those kids as well.
Absolutely.
They have every right to know. And actually, she said she had such a good experience. One of the kids in there was talking about their experience where they knew about credit because they had turned 18 and they bought themselves a car because they had a job.
Oh.
And they bought themselves a car at 18, and was talking about the process that he went through and everything. I was like, that's great.
That's awesome.
So I was so happy that it took off. You know, I had first day jitters because yesterday was the first day doing, so I had first day jitters, like the butterflies on opening day.
Keeps you humble.
Yeah.
Keeps you humble.
But I love it.
That's awesome. Well, so that's the power of what we do here, right? So and that's what I do with my publication, with the networks that I'm part of, is how can I connect people? You know, if you need somebody, I want to be the first person. Mikey calls me the human Rolodex of Princess Mayor, right? So if you need something, I want you to reach out to me and ask me who it is that I know. And so it's been a pleasure to be able to help you and your foundation, because the more we can give back, I don't know if there's any really truly altruistic acts, because at the end of the day, it makes me feel good to help other people as well too. If you guys ever watched that Friends episode, they had a really long discussion about there's really an act that is not self-serving. But if you want to help, please reach out to Dion, reach out on his Facebook, reach out to Richmond Public Schools or the former George with, I can remember that.
Yeah.
I can remember that. So thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And so as always, stay fluid, my friends. I'm always cheering for you. Bye, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.